subscribe and hit the bell icon and never miss another video.
The opportunity to love nature and understand that we exist, period, because of nature.
And we're part of it.
We are, yeah.
Happy birthday!
Stop it, guys! I'm trying to focus.
This is MissMalini and I have the absolutely beautiful Mirza in the
After
studio
too
today.
long.
It's been 2 years, we were saying, and we're celebrating birthday today.
Yes.
So I always love talking to you because we talk about different things. Today we're here because we're talking about all the amazing things that you do for the environment. And I think as a role model, what really helps is how you can tell people what are the little things that they can do. But first, let's talk a little bit about your work as the UN Environment Goodwill Ambassador. What does that mean? And the fact that you're the United Nations advocate for sustainable development as well.
Well, an advocate is quite simply someone who helps more people understand what sustainable development means. And the UN environment is obviously a body of the United Nations that is working towards protecting, securing and conserving wildlife and nature. Quite simply, if we don't have nature and all that it provides us, which is clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, clean food to eat, we have nothing.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that in the last 100 years, human activity or behavior has become unsustainable. We are consuming far too much. We're killing too much nature in doing so. And what we really need to strive towards is a balance. So the Sustainable Development Goals are a roadmap that allow all of us to understand how we can implement these goals into our everyday lives.
I absolutely agree. And I think the big fear people have is like, is me using one metal straw really going to make a big difference in the
it makes all the difference.
And that's what I wanted, you to share.
So we're not a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
We're the entire ocean in a drop. Every action counts. And I feel that it's a war cry of sorts now more than ever before, that children have become so conscious and aware. I mean, you look at the Greta Thunberg movement, you look at how Fridays for Future is happening, how children are networking across the globe and doing such phenomenal work. 14 of the most polluted cities in the world are in India, which means that Delhi is not the only polluted city. There are many days and many weeks and many months of the year where Bombay is more polluted than Delhi is. When children can galvanize a movement to come together and say that we are willing to help create policy that you, the government, has to implement and declare India as a climate emergency state, they're not saying they're scared or paranoid or afraid. They're basically saying we want to be a part of the solution.
Yeah. So I watched this, I'm sure you've seen it, the Leonardo DiCaprio documentary. Yeah. And it's kind of scary because he says it's too late. There's nothing we can do.
I have a big problem with this whole apocalypto attitude, and I understand that it's very necessary for more and more people to accept that our behavior is irrational, that our consumption patterns, like just the amount of clothes we want, the amount of food we eat and waste, but the attitude that sucks is the one that is defeatist and the one that basically says, I can't do this in my lifetime. That's just pathetic because you're actually not just doing that to yourself, you're doing it to your whole family. My mother has like 38% lung capacity. And that's what gives me the motivation to just want to make a difference.
I always wanted to ask you, how did you get into it? Because you come from especially in the celebrity world, there's so much that doesn't really focus on the environment.
It started a very long time ago. I think it started even before I was conceived. When Frank Heinrich, my father, who was German, traveled to India by road in the 1970s, I think he set a precedent, right? He was traveling to India to conduct these workshops for Maximal Abhavan, where he was invited to teach teachers how to teach. And the entire subject matter of his workshops was working with nature to enhance a child's imagination and creativity. Because forming that connection, given that we are from nature, helps the individual build narratives and stories that give them an authentic voice, like yourself. So that's why Frank arrived in India. And I was conceived with that foundation, that principle of thought. Then, of course, the J. Krishnamurti school, the fact that I went to Vidyaranya, which means forest of education. The fact that I did classes under trees, like Shanti Niketan. That was the best thing.
Yeah.
And also maybe the fact that the alarm bells for climate change started ringing in 1981.
I think that one of the things that I love is you go on these amazing trips. Where do you go?
Well, there are 137 or 39 wildlife sanctuaries and forest reserves, nature reserves in India. There's many left to explore, but I try and do as many in India because I think change starts at home. And understanding what is happening on the ground here, what are the IFS officers doing, what is the forest ministry doing, all of this is important to be able to bring about a change. And that's actually the other part of the role that I play as UN Environment Advocate and an SDGs Advocate. So yeah, understanding the problems so we can find solutions. But more than anything else, I think being in the forest just makes me feel alive.
Yes, I was asking you some documentaries that you recommend watching because they're such fantastic ones. I just saw one recently about elephants, and I know you have a soft spot for elephants.
They're the most beautiful species. Documentaries, I think it starts with a film that I watched when I was a child. So if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's called Born Free.
That's a great
It's the name of my first film company.
Yeah.
But it's a great film about these lion cubs that are rescued and rewilded. And I talk about rewilding because I think being introduced back to the wild after a rescue operation is such an integral part of conservation and protection work that thankfully I've been witness to through Wildlife Trust of India that I work with.
Yeah. How do you get people to care more?
Anything and everything that we can find love for. So it starts with just opening your heart up to the opportunity to love nature and understand that we exist, period, because of nature.
And we're part of it.
We are, yeah.
The other thing is I feel that, we have such a huge Bollywood industry, so much impact there, but we were trying to find references of movies that really talk about nature and conservation, and there really aren't that many.
I think there'll be many more now,
be,
and hopefully I'll be a part of that
process.
process.
I was going to ask you, and I know you have some exciting things coming up.
What's coming up? A new company.
Wow.
That's going to be telling some very powerful stories that is so totally tied in with everything that we've just spoken about. Stories, fiction, non-fiction, the works that kind of tie in the idea of people and planet and the interdependence and the interconnection in every way that's dramatic and emotion centric to human beings, right?
Yeah.
The name of the company is One India Stories.
One India Stories. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. I think it's going to be incredible. And I hope the Girl Tribe can be part of it somehow.
They are. Their stories will be a part of it. I have to tell you that many of the stories that I read on the Girl Tribe will find a way into the narratives that we are forming.
So I would love for you to sign for the Girl Tribe. We're going to be giving away some autographed pictures of the lovely Dia. Before I let you go, we obviously have to get everyone to sing you happy birthday. So on 3, hit it. 3, 2, 1, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Stop it, guys! I'm trying to focus.
Happy birthday to you.
I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do. And I think you're such a great role model. And I think what's really nice is that you're so approachable and so relatable. And I think that makes it easier for people to do it.
It's one world, one story, and we are all a part of it. Love you, Miss Malini, Dia Mirza.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.